Hi, guys. This is Laurie Starkey from the Seven Sons crew. I'm here today with Mike Anderle, good friend of mine. We're going to kind of just walk through some of the stuff for Seven Sons and kind of talk about the inception of it and who we are as people. We're super excited for this to kick off in 2019. It's going to be just a fantastic, Mike, you got to stop dancing. It's going to be a fantastic project for us.
White
So
men can't jump.
yeah, white guys can't jump and they can't dance either. So, but I want to kick it off with kind of talking about who we are as authors and publishers. So, Mike, if you want to take it away, give us a 30-second clip on yourself. That would be awesome.
All right. Well, I'm a very conservative individual. I have a hard time expressing myself on video very much. So I appreciate the opportunity and everyone giving me this chance. I've actually been in indie publishing for about 3 years now and have quite a few books under my belt, predominantly in the paranormal, sci-fi, urban fantasy arena, usually in the top 3 or 4 authors in those groups and the top 100 author in the store. So I've done things from the Arthurian Gambit, or a Saren. And so when you and I spoke last year, it's like, yes, absolutely. I was on board to try seeing what we could do in the universe.
Very cool. Okay, and yeah, you seem so shy there, by the way. So for myself, so humble, so humble.
My
For
goal is to see if I can make you crack up.
Dude, I'm just gonna laugh the whole time. That's how it is anyway when we talk. So, for myself, I've been publishing since 2015. I have quite a few books under my belt too, but I'm in a different genre. I write a lot in romance on my own and with my brother. And I've always wanted to write more in urban fantasy and paranormal. I just never made it over there. And so when Mike and I kind of talked last year, it was like, come to the dark side. But I wanted to come that way. And so when we started talking about this project, we thought this is going to be great. So my publishing company, we have quite a few people that work with us, and they're going to be kind of the backbone alongside Mike's company in the Seven Sons venture. So we're super, super excited about that. Let's talk about how we met. I feel like we should have one of those little Pac-Man things where the thing came across how they met.
There we go. There you go. Just
Yeah.
imagine it was written, and there you go.
So
Done.
talk a little bit about how we met, and then I'll throw in my side jabs at you.
Oh, excellent! Because this means that I have to remember exactly how we met. But I believe it was something that we like the Stone Table Round Table situation with the SPP guys,
Yep.
which is the guys are based out of Austin, and we were meeting one time, and it was in a hotel room of about 20 of us, I would say, something like that. And you were sitting on the other side, and then they were going around asking questions, and certainly for myself, I was relatively new to the industry, maybe a year into it, and a lot of people were peppering you with book club questions, and there were some other things going on. And so between, I think the two of us, we had a lot of experience, and so we were talking things that were going out. And if I remember correctly, and you don't lie, that was when we actually met.
That is actually when we met. That's exactly it. You're so fun. Look at you. And I didn't even warn you that was really coming. So from there, I'll take it from there. We met there. We didn't talk for a year. We got together for coffee.
Totally rejected. It's like,
Oh, stop it. We didn't
romance.
talk for a year. Yeah, right. We had coffee. You told me how well you were doing. I was still hustling and making some money, but not really making a ton of money. And so I went home that night completely depressed that you were doing so much better than me. But
Oh, wait a minute. You were asking for some advice.
yeah. And then I didn't want any of your advice. That's about
Yeah.
how this works, isn't it? So I went home that night and I really chewed on it. And funny enough, when you have really good conversations with people that lift you to a new level, you chew on it, you may have a depression moment, but what that did was it spawned me onto a new section in my business. And so it started to grow after that, just based on the fact that I was like, wait a minute, I can do this. I can do this,
Oh,
so
if that guy,
if that guy can do it, no.
being nice to everybody, that guy.
You're so funny. It's the 4-minute mile. When I knew it could be busted, I was like, okay, I'm going to go after it too. So our friendship, I think, really started more instead of just being on a table together with a bunch of other people. We kind of started a friendship. And then like 9 months later,
You disappeared. You're
I
skipping the
disappeared
whole
again.
part. Yeah, you totally disappeared for. I was like, huh. Wonder whatever happened to that person that asked for my advice and then
You know
disappeared.
what I was doing? I've written
Hustling.
138 books. Yeah, I was just typing in a dark hole, and my husband was throwing food at me like a wild animal. And so anyways, come to 20 books. I hit a really high number on Amazon, and I sent you a note because I was like, yeah, I did it. Let me show Mike Anderle. And so I sent you a note, and you mentioned 20 books. We go there, we hook up, we decide to do something together in 2018, whatever it looks like. And then it was a snowball effect, right? It's like you flew to Dallas, I drove up there, and we
Yeah.
totally created Seven Sons in like 2 full long days.
Yeah, so in 2017, for those who don't know, 20 Books is held, well, that particular one was held here in Vegas. And that's where my wife and I live. But we also have a home in Texas. And you were at the time, because you live all over the damn world, at the time you were hanging out in the North Houston area. So I had flown back there for Thanksgiving, I think, or something like that with the
Yep.
kids. Maybe it was Christmas. And then anyway, so you drove up, and then you and your husband, and whatever his name is, Fred. And
Yeah,
so
right. He's going to get you for that.
she made me do it, Jacob. I promise it was all
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
So you guys drove up, yeah, and so we just kind of hung up at that restaurant and worked it out and figured out what was going on. So it was interesting. I would like to, did you keep all those notes that we wrote on that butcher block paper? Okay.
For one day when we take over Marvel. That's
Yeah,
why.
because those people are obviously out of ideas.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But we sat down, and I remember bringing, as a romance writer, I had never really done a lot of world building. I mean, we have our own, arcs that we do that I do well, but I wanted to kind of bring it to world building, which I knew was one of your specialties. So I brought like 4 or 5 ideas, and I was just reminding Jacob the other day, I was like, and Mike kind of you took them and spun them into one story. And the most precious part of it is, do you remember that moment when you were kind of telling me the story you could see in the back of your mind and got kind of choked up? And I thought, yeah, this
Yeah.
man is a true artist. This is exactly what I want to be involved in. Like, that was the moment I was like, okay, I'm not going to disappear from Mike anymore. Like, it was very
He's all
sincere.
right.
He's an
He has an
artist.
emotional side.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful story. Do you remember that? And then from that, we spent, God, 36 to 48 hours, 2 days, 3 days, just plowing through the whole underlying world, building the 4 dimensions of Seven Sons, looking at all the species that we were going to have. It was a fantastic journey.
So you keep putting this focus on me. What about you?
Yeah, so for me, I think the reason that I came to the table with you in the first place was,
Whoa, 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 whoa. That's nice, and I'm all about hearing about me anyway. But
no, I'm getting there.
okay,
I am
you're gonna
so
get
getting
about
there.
you. You.
Yeah, I am so getting there. The
Okay.
reason I came to the table with Seven Sons, this is about me, was because I know, right? Was because I've had a lot of success. Like, I've done really well. We just had a lot of success, thank God. A lot of hard work, a lot of hours in 4 years. But I have a lot of indie friends that are fantastic writers, but have not had a lot of monetary success. So you're still writing, and everybody is probably going to watch this. It was where we were, of course, you're still writing after you get home, after you put the kids to bed, in 5 o'clock in the morning. And that's what they were doing. So I kept thinking all throughout 2017, how can I help them? Like, what could I do to help them? And when I realized what you had done with Cthulhu Gambit and or Saren, you brought on co-writers. And I thought this might be the perfect way to utilize all of the knowledge that I have and the world building that you have and the collective money that we could put behind to support it as a publisher this time, not necessarily an author. That's what started Seven Sons for me, was the idea of helping 7 of my indie friends that are such great writers kind of be supported by a co-publishing company. And that's what started this for me. So that is all about me. This is my exciting thing for 2019, is to help my friends.
So if it had been only 6 friends, it would have been the 6 sons.
Yes, that's basically what would have happened. That's too funny. And I sat down with like 8 or 9 of my friends, and several of them said, no, I'm not interested. This is too big of a
So
project.
originally it was 9 sons, and then 8 sons, and then we lost them. 7
like,
sons. 7 is the
How many
perfect number.
species can we come up with? We're definitely going to need ogres because we have an 8th person. No, we don't. So anyways, Seven Sons, I'll talk a little bit about it, Mike, you can too, but Seven Sons is a brand new world, an urban fantasy and even paranormal that were kind of pulled together, and we built this great underlying story, this world, this 4-dimensional world where you have heaven and you have Esper, which is our fantasy land that we've built with maps and all kinds of fun stuff. We have Earth, where our urban fantasy takes place, and then we have what we call Demura, which is hell. And so the story for all of these writers started at the same inception, which you'll kind of see in the stories. I don't want to tell too much, but that it all started for them at that same inception. And then each of the 7 writers took a species from the beginning of time to now. And so the story kind of happens now, but each one of them got to take one of those species and tell that story in an 8-book section. And we start publishing January 16th. So at this point, we're just getting really excited. I know we're getting really excited. Say it again.
56 books?
56 books next year. Yes. 56 books. And our species that we have that people will be writing is we have the hunters, which were humans that started hunting for the church. We have the shifters. We have magicians or mages or magic wielders.
My preference.
Yeah, whichever your preference is, tomato, tomato. We have the angels. We have the elves. We have the fae. And I always get one. Yeah, the vampires.
Yeah, how could you forget vampires? Oh, okay. No, that was unnecessary.
Please don't do that. My dad always does that, but anyway.
Yeah, no, doesn't work.
Didn't need to know it.
No, did not need to know that. That's okay.
So you do the teaser, like the underlier.
Okay, so what we'd like to do is tell you that at the very end, at book 57, then Laurie and I will be writing the last book, and we are going to reveal what the story is underlying all 56 books. Can you figure it out before we tell you?
Yep. Excellent. So 7 Sons is starting soon. You guys jump in. We're going to have lots of videos and lots of great stuff. But for now, we'll sign off. We're both co-publishers. Excuse me.
Yeah. So we did this actually. So this is 2018, 2017, 2016. You were going to be like coming out of the gate in May. We're like 8 months late.
Why would you have to bring that up?
I won't get another chance.
Oh my God, I love it. Yes, life did happen. And so of those 7 writers, I think everybody was like, wait, when did you want the book? 2019? Awesome. So thank you a lot, Mike.
Oh, no. But it does go to say that you actually have books in the queue. We're not waiting.
We do. We have everything ready to go. We're just fixing to start rolling these things out. So get excited. 2019 is going to be a great year, especially if you enjoy these genres. Mike and I have worked tirelessly with these 7 authors behind the scenes, and we're excited to see it happen. So I'm signing off, Mike.
Later.